Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm May in the Books. I'm Marlou and this is May in the Books, and today I'm going to do my May wrap up. It's a little bit late because I already filmed it. I already filmed the version but I didn't like it, so we're gonna do it again. It's like 30 degrees this week and I'm like dying of hay fever. I don't explain it to me. How is it hot and like hay fever season at the same time? Do you want me dead? Oh my god. Whenever I'm filming, my cat is just going crazy. It's like ridiculous. I read 6 books in May and I'm going to show you them now. I started the month off with The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. I give it 4 stars. This book is written from Charlie's perspective. He's a freshman in high school and he is super shy, socially awkward, doesn't really have any friends, and he is writing letters to a friend. So that's like the format of this book. And then he gets some other friends and he just goes through this high school experience as a wallflower, basically. Yeah, it's just a really enduring book. It feels very real. The only thing that something happens in this book and the context is so subtle that I had to Google if that actually happened. And I don't know if I like that, if you have to Google something, because this kind of reads like a high school novel, and I don't know if every teen who would read this would understand what is going on. It's, yeah. But it makes me intrigued, but at the same time I'm it could have been a little more obvious. I don't know, I'm not sure, but I gave it 4 stars because I think this is a really good book, well written, and yeah, I'm glad I finally read it. The next book I read is City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. This is about Vivian in the 1940s. She moves to New York City to live with her aunt in her aunt's theater. What I love about this book is the setting. She's becoming friends with showgirls. They're putting on theater performances. There's actors in here. I really like that part, the glamour and the alcohol and stuff. It's fun. I think I give this 3.5 stars. This is during the Second World War and it's in the United States, so it's not really, the war is not really happening there. So she says some things about the war that kind of rubbed me the wrong way as a Dutch person. There's also a Jewish character in here and she just seems totally untouched by the whole event, which I don't know, I just feel like the author could have been a little bit more sensitive to the subject. To give an example, the main character at some point, well, she's well in her 20s, so she's not like a teenager who says dumb stuff. She's like, well, the war is good for some people, you know, stuff like that. And it's I get what she means, but still, it's kind of as an author, I wouldn't say things like that in my book, because you can write whatever you want and say it's your character, but you thought of that. You thought it was a good idea to write that. So that is not really what I like, but I do like the vibes in this book and the activities. I felt it was a little bit misogynistic. The main character is rich and she she prostitutes for no reason, and then later she judges other women for marrying soldiers so they get their money if they die. And I'm like, well, maybe they really need that money and you didn't need that money, so who are you to judge? Stuff like that. So I don't think I'll be reading from this author again, because I don't know, she gives me kind of icky vibes because of these things in this book. Then I read Yolk by Mary H.K. Choi. I read it on Next Story as an ebook. I have been reading it for quite some time now. It's about 2 sisters who are very similar in looks, and our main character is the younger sister who always feels like she is compared to her and the lesser version, so she feels that pressure and that jealousy. her sister tells her she's sick, and then they start to hang out more, and the book is mostly about them and how they act. I give this book like, I don't remember, I'll put it in the screen. These characters are extremely unlikable. There's a lot of like negative stuff about white people as well. It's like, yeah, I don't know, and nothing really happens, and this person's just very unlikable. The main character is just like, why are you so insufferable? And yeah, it's just like, it was an okay book. It was not badly written or anything. I did like the ending. So that's a surprise, because with books like that, I'm normally quite over it by the end of it. But I actually did like the ending. But throughout the book, I was lacking some sort of connection with the characters. So yeah. And then I listened to Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I got this book 2.5 stars. This book is about Anastasia, and she's an ice skater in college, and she's just ice skating with her partner, and then something happens and she meets a ice hockey player, and they start having a sexual relationship, and they fall in love, and somehow this book is more than 400 pages long, and half of it is super like detailed sex scenes, and for that I gave 2.5 stars. Like, overall this book is not bad or anything, but it's just like, it was originally written on Wattpad, and when I saw that, I should have thought, don't add it to your TBR. But also, like, a lot of people are like loving this book, so I was like, oh, maybe. But no, it's like, it's super smutty, and then there are things in this book that I like, because it's just not, it's a romance, but it's not just happening like all the other books and then something bad happens and they make up again. Like, throughout the book, different events happen that keeps it interesting, so that I like. I hated the epilogue. Like, I was like, well, I should give this 3 stars, even though I kind of hate like all the smut. And then I saw the epilogue and I was like, it deserves a 2.5. Like, this book, there was definitely some potential in it, but they also just threw in way too many side characters, because she wants to make it a series, and we need to be introduced to all these hockey players who are like kind of the same guy in a different font, if you know what I mean. So I was like, that's not necessary. If this book would have been like 300 pages long with like 2 sex scenes, it would have been a fine book. And skip the epilogue. Like, what, I'm not gonna spoil what's in there, but you can probably guess, because it's super predictable and stupid. I never want to read about an ice skater girl again and not see her succeed. If you want a great ice skater book, definitely read From Luke Off With Love. That's some real enemies to lovers ice skating thing. I really enjoyed that book. Icebreaker, no, don't recommend. And then I read this brick of a book, Utopia Avenue by David Mitchell. I accidentally bought the Dutch translation, so it's probably even longer than the English version, but it was fine reading it in Dutch. This book is about 4 people who joined together in a band in the 60s, and there are a lot of mentions of like famous people from that time who were like in the party scene and stuff. I don't know why that's legal, but yeah, it's written from 3 different point of views, the 3 songwriters of the band, so you get some different perspectives, which is fun. You have like the book that starts off with Dean. He used the F slur a lot. I don't vibe with that. You could have easily left that out, but okay. And then you have Elf, which is the only girl in the band. I feel like she was a little bit dropped out towards the end. I feel like, I don't know, it was like, I don't think men can write women really well. I never feel like women characters are good when men write them. I don't know. And then you have Jasper, who is schizophrenic, and he's half Dutch. So there are things about here about the Netherlands, which I thought was really fun. I hate what they did with the schizophrenia. Like, I know. This book was a little bit too long. There were definitely fun parts in it. I enjoyed it, but I also had some issues with it. But it is a fun book, but it's a little bit overrated, I think. Like there's a lot like things that are not handled well, like schizophrenia. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's not something, no, I don't want to give spoilers, but no. And then, yeah, so it was a fun book. I gave it 3.5 stars for the music, band vibes. I wish there was some more like chemistry between the band members, because you have all these different point of views, but they were like barely like sharing anything with each other. I read this because some people said it was better than Days Jones and the Six, and I don't agree. So there's that. And then lastly, I read Kill the Boy Band by Goldie Modovsky. This is just a fun read. I couldn't rate it higher, it wouldn't be fair, but I did enjoy this read. I do think it's a little bit harsh on fangirls. So yeah, this book is about 4 girls who are fans of this boy band, and then they go to the hotel they're staying in, they're kidnapping one of them, and things go wrong. And yeah, it's kind of crazy. I thought it was funny. It's an interesting look on fangirls, but I think it's too harsh. Like, fangirls are not all like this. I think having a fangirl period in your teenage years can be sort of healthy. Like, we've all been there. I mean, I have been there. And I think it's been good. So yeah, these were all the books I read in May. I already finished 5 books in June, so June is gonna be a bigger reading month. If you want to see that wrap up, please subscribe. And if you like this video, please leave a like and a comment, and I would love to see you next time.